You're always fucking up the flow, Joe.
Look at this Mark McGuire bicep I got going here.
Savage.
You see that?
Are you kidding me?
That is wild. All right. In the big inning, there was baseball. It is Tuesday, June 30th. I am CJ. Welcome to the show, everybody. You can, of course, catch me on Twitter at CJ in Pinstripes. I am here with my guy, Evan. How are you doing, Evan?
I'm doing good. This is 27 Down, Perfect Podcast for the Perfect Game. You can follow me at Evan D. Wetzel 4.
I can see the concentration in your face to make sure you don't get that wrong when you say it.
You son of a bitch! I have it written down in front of me too. Fuck off.
You can also follow the show's official Twitter at 27downcast. That would be great if you do that. Just keep in mind, if someone is rude to you, know that is Evan. That is not me. I am nice to everyone on Twitter.
No, it's always me. If you get blocked, it's me too.
Right, and then I have to unblock, and then Evan reblock.
And then I'll block you again because it's bullshit. This is my show.
But now Evan owes me one. So
I do. I owe you several ones.
So now Evan's going to stop blocking people. That's the only thing I've asked for him to do.
For like a month or two. We'll see.
A month or two? What the hell, man? Well, then in a month or two, I'm going to – never mind. I'm not going to go.
I can't control if people piss me off, okay? Just don't piss me off, and we'll have a great life together.
Let's talk about baseball, shall we?
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
MLB has released they've pretty much given us all of the different rules, little nuances, all the stuff we can expect for this little 2020 season. Some of it is interesting. Some of it really sucks. I figure I have it pulled up in front of me right now, and I figure that we will discuss section by section, piece by piece, and see how we feel about this stuff, okay? So this is per MLB trade rumors, by the way. This is where I'm reading these rules from.
Yeah. I've also heard that there will be a trade deadline, and I believe it's going to be like the second week of the season.
That's ridiculous. Well, we'll see. We'll see if that's mentioned on here.
I'm pretty sure I heard the trade deadline's like August 15th or some nonsensical thing like that.
I don't know. We'll see. Let's go through these.
I also heard that teams are not allowed to or will not disclose who is on the COVID restricted list.
Hey, can I read the rules instead of you saying?
Sure. Sorry that I know everything already. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course you do. So first of all, we are going to have summer camp starting July 3rd. That's going to take us for 3 weeks until July 23rd or 24th. They have yet to decide on the actual opening day, but that's just little bits and pieces. They can figure that out. We already knew about National League games using the DH. I applaud that. I hope that stays going forward. You'll sometimes hear someone say, "Oh, but then Bartolo Colon won't hit home run." Well, who gives a shit? Who really cares? It's not worth it to have bad baseball.
No one cares about Cespedes, Joe. Thank you, though.
That's also true.
One thing about that, the DH thing, we constantly talk about in sports how we need to protect the athletes from injuries and other nonsensical things from happening. Well, how many bad injuries have we seen from American League pitchers trying to hit and then run around the bases? It's not the hitting, it's the running around the bases that they do not study and they do not train for. And then you have these elite players like a Ching-Ming Wang who gets his career ruined, and no one cares because he's a Yankee. But there's other examples of that.
Yeah, and you'll hear people criticize that about how, AL pitchers must be really weak. Well, you know what? That's not going to change. Like, AL pitchers don't train to round the bases because they don't have to do it much. Because what are the odds that an American League pitcher who's going to get maybe, if I had to guess, 12 plate appearances, maybe in an entire season? Why in the world would such a player decide, I better devote part of my game to base running. I better devote part of my game to batting. They pitch. Let the pitchers pitch.
It makes no sense. I mean, are you going to train a kicker to be an offensive tackle on the blind side? No, you're not.
That phrase is a good foreshadowing for later today. Keep that in mind. Okay, so there's that. I kind of hope that'll end up. I wouldn't be surprised if that's in the next CBA. By the way, I would not be the least bit surprised if in the next CBA everyone just comes together and says, "All right, just DH everywhere going forward."
I mean, I think it will because it doesn't really take away from the players. It's not like a pitcher is getting more money for hitting or stuff like that. You know, it doesn't change the game for them. So why wouldn't they want to have a DH? It's an advantage for their team, and it would drastically change the dynamic of the National League, including opening up jobs for people who might not have it over there.
Yeah, I honestly thought that it was going to be in the last CBA, and that never happened. But who knows? I think we'll see it in the next one. All right, so this brings us to the one we don't like, the extra innings base runner rule. So all extra inning games will now begin with a base runner on second base. The way that they're going to do it is the player that the player that's up to bat, and then in the extra innings, he just comes up to bat like usual, and the player that is before that player in the lineup will be placed at second base to start the inning. So if the number 5 guy is up, he comes up to bat. The number 4 guy goes on second. In terms of scoring, it will be considered an unearned run if that run comes around to score.
See, I hate both of those things. I hate the fact that they're using this gimmick and they're not giving the team the option of who gets to be on second. And I understand that that's difficult when you're dealing with the lineup, and because of that, you would have to basically use a bench player. But again, that could get certain players a job in an American League team. Like maybe Ronald Torreyes is now that guy that can run, or maybe Taylor Wade is that guy who gets placed on second and he's used more because he's one of the fastest guys in the league.
Yeah, that's true. And, obviously I wish this just wasn't part of the game at all. But,
yeah, I agree.
It is what it is, and we're going to really pray to God that this – I don't think that teams want this. I don't think that I don't see why even the owners would want this. I guess it could protect their investment and no one gets too tired, but the players won't want this. The players
because they think that they're going to enhance the excitement level, and that's going to get casual fans to give a shit. And it's not. It's so small, and it's such a gimmick that it's going to do the opposite. I really think that all of us diehards, including players and whatever, we're not going to like this. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
It just cheapens the game so much. I love the fact that extra innings started and could go days if it lasted, whatever. But I like that it brings in a whole nother element of trying to stay healthy and push through a whole game, which is hard to do.
Now, listen, man, I gotta be honest. And I bring this back to when we talked about soccer. Like, if you win a soccer game on penalty kicks, you didn't actually win with soccer skill. You won because your team's goalie managed to guess to dive in the right direction and block a kick. There's no actual skill that happened there.
Yeah, which is part of the reason why I've always wanted the soccer goal to be smaller. I don't think you could do that, but it's like if it was half the size, you would have half the guessing.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, there's also if that, let's say again, the fifth, the number 5 guy is up to bat, and number 4 player goes out there to run, you can put in a pinch runner, but that obviously takes the batter out of the game.
Right. Okay.
So if you do want to have
that's definitely an issue because you're not going to take out your 3, 4, or 5 usually.
Right. So if you do want to have a Tyler Wade on your roster, you probably just wouldn't want to do it if you're taking out someone like Stanton. You would probably do it if your 7, 8, 9 guy is
right. Especially when we rely on these home runs, so you're really not going to take out the 3, 4, 5 guys that can do that in any given at bat.
Right. All right, next one. It says here the 3 batter minimum rule. So that definitely officially starts. That is now starting this year. What's that?
I said okay. I mean,
we've known this one was coming for a while. And all this bit of news does is tell us that they didn't change their mind, which we weren't expecting them to anyway. I don't understand how you could do these two things at the same time, by the way. How can you institute this runner on second rule designed to make games shorter and not tire people out, but at the same time, you then say that relief pitchers have to pitch to 3 guys, which is going to tire people out? How can you have both? Pick one, MLB. Kiss my butt. All right.
They can't because they're using this whole time frame as an excuse to try all this new crap. You know, so they're gonna push all as much in as possible, and I just don't like it. I just want baseball back now. I just want normal baseball back. We only have 60 games. It's like, why are you shoving this down our throats now when we suffered the last 6 months waiting for this?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Okay, so the next rule, MLB had plans of kind of limiting when position players can pitch. There were going to be certain rules, like there needed to be at least a 6-run. There was like a 6-run lead was needed, and there was something about like if you're a 2-way player, and the 2-way player I think is like you had to pitch 20 innings and play in 20 games as a hitter.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Player. But they are now saying that's out. So
okay, good. Thank you.
For this year, if teams there's no restriction. It's just like last year and previous years. Any position player can pitch at any point for any reason.
Like, it's interesting because we just talked about the DH, and I would argue I would rather see a random position player like a Nick Swisher try to pitch than watch a fat-ass pitcher try to run the bases and hit.
Yeah, so when a pitcher hits a home run, again, unless it's Bartolo Colon or someone like that, or if it's like an American League player hitting a grand slam, I forget who that was. I think that was Felix Hernandez, actually. I think Felix Hernandez is the only AL
You might
player,
be correct on that.
I think he's the only AL pitcher to ever hit a grand slam. Outside of those little scenarios, I don't really care about a pitcher hitting a home run. But what I do care about is, oh my God, here comes insert player here coming out to pitch. Let's see what happens. Let's see. First of all, if he strikes someone out, that's hilarious.
It's so embarrassing and so hilarious. I love it, dude.
So embarrassing, and it's just such schadenfreude. I absolutely love when a hitter gets struck out by a position player, but I also love it when a position player comes in and just gets shredded. Like,
that's
gives
fun
up like
too.
7 runs. The game's already over, so nobody really cares. But damn, like, you do kind of feel bad for that position player. Like, I know that's not your position.
To a point, but it's hilarious seeing someone throw a 70-mile-an-hour fastball with a 50-mile-an-hour curve right after it.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. And I think that's why you see strikeouts, right? Because nobody – it's like facing a knuckleballer.
Because the timing is so off.
Yeah. It's like facing a knuckleballer that, damn, now I got to readjust to something that wouldn't even leave a bruise if it were to hit me.
Yeah, it gives me hope that I could pitch in the majors because I throw about 50 to 70.
Yeah.
Or I used to.
50 to 70. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad for back then.
Yeah, this was when I was like 19 to 22-ish.
Yeah, you know, it's not what college kids can do these days, but hey, there's worse out there.
We had a kid at high school who hit 90 and actually went to the minors.
Interesting.
He didn't make it.
And then finally for like on the field stuff, on the field rules, one last rule that they have mentioned is there is going to be even more strict, even more scrutinized, unsportsmanlike conduct stuff for if a player, let's say, charges the mound. Because, in case you haven't noticed, there's a pandemic, and you're not kind of supposed to go up to people. So they're trying to say, like, dude, like, what if someone has COVID and they don't know it yet, and then they charge the mound, and then the pitcher gets it, and then the bench is clear, and now everyone has it.
See, this is what you have to do. You have your batting gloves on. Every player should have a fanny pack with eggs in it. And if there's an altercation, you just charge and you throw eggs at the guy, and then you don't actually touch him.
I like that, but I'm going to alter that. It has to be rotten eggs.
Oh, yeah, that works. Yeah, they can be as stinky as possible. That's good.
Rotten eggs, and that can be in one side, and on the other side you have silly string. So
Yeah,
you go
I
out,
like the silly string.
you silly string the other player, and then you pull his pants down and punch him in the balls.
No, you can't touch them.
Damn it!
You'd have to use one of those those claw things that you pick stuff up at the supermarket. You'd have to use those.
What, are you gonna pinch someone's wiener with that? That's ridiculous.
You're talking about knocking them in the balls. You can't have contact, so get one of those things.
I think it should actually be MLB allows fights just like hockey does, but instead of fights, the winner is the one who successfully coughs into the mouth of the loser. I think that's how it should go.
Jesus Christ, people are gonna die.
I think that's how they're athletes. Come on, they're healthy. All right, so that's
yeah, but I'm not, and then they're gonna go see me at like a bar or something. I'm gonna die, and sorry.
Evan, what bar are you gonna go to? You live in New York. There's no bars open. That's what's gonna suck. We're not gonna be able to actually go to these games, and even if we could, we're not going to the dugout beforehand.
We're not going to anything, bro. I haven't seen you in like months.
I know. We need to get the studio back open. That would be nice.
I'm definitely looking forward to going back to the studio. That is for sure.
Yeah, same here. All right, procedures for health and safety. So this is beyond just like on the field stuff. So each team has to submit an action plan for COVID. So every team has to have their own rules and how they're going to do stuff. Every clubhouse is different, so not every team can be the same. But each team does have to submit something. That's fine, I guess. This one's going to be fun. I cannot wait for this to be broken left and right. No spitting. How is that going to happen?
It's not.
How are you going to stop baseball players from spitting? I think you can fill a small lake with how much baseball players spit over the course of the season.
Dude, the two things athletes do the most is spit and scratch their nuts. So,
and slap each other's butts.
Yeah, that too. So good luck with that one. What, they gonna fine people for slapping ass? You gotta slap the ass fine, buddy.
Well, it says here, saliva, sunflower seeds, peanut shells, tobacco. Oh, it's just in including on the field. Never mind. Yeah, it's even during the game. No sunflower seeds? What? Robinson Cano is going to get banned from baseball if he can't have sunflower seeds.
Why don't they just ban cocaine while they're at it?
Yeah, I mean, that would have been smart in the 80s.
Doc and Daryl's career would be saved.
Hey.
Oh, hey, Joe.
Hey, although Keith did just fine even with cocaine. So
I'm pretty sure it was banned. I'm pretty sure you couldn't do it in the 80s.
Yeah, I don't
know, Joe.
I don't think that's a modern thing that MLB was like, wait a second, this cocaine use. I don't think we're gonna have.
I think the amphetamines was the thing that they were just like, please do these, and then they banned it. And when guys slowed down, they're wondering why no one steals bases anymore. It's because no one's on amphetamine.
Yeah, including Chris Davis. He's not on them either.
Oh,
now you just need a prescription. All right, I'm out of here. We're not talking medical. We go all day. I have a serious problem. Hold on. I'm going to pop in for a second.
An amphetamine problem?
No. I want to talk about McGuire and Sosa real quick, not to throw you guys off. But what do you guys feel about the MLB not letting some of these guys, or not voting some of these guys into the Hall of Fame? Because I feel like they let it happen. They knew it was happening. They're not.
Yeah. I mean, you also think of the fact, Hank Aaron admitted to using amphetamines. He went out and said, he called them Greenies. He's like, I used Greenies all the time. So those are okay?
Not only did Major League Baseball know, they exploited it for money at a time where the sport was failing after a failed CBD negotiations. They needed those steroids in '98. They needed that home run race, and it saved the game. And now they're going to try to act like those people who saved their game shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame for what they did. Of course they should be.
Yeah, and everyone, I was probably in 10th grade at around that time, and everybody in my high school that played a sport was basically taking creatine or andro. So Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa didn't start that. That was going on for a long time before that, and I feel like they sold them out.
I mean, I know friends who have taken them. So, yeah, you're 100% correct on that one. They didn't start this crazy steroid movement. It was something that was already plaguing the game, and it benefited Major League Baseball. So my issue is they had a problem when it didn't benefit them. Then they shut their mouth when it did, and then they spoke up again when it wasn't anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, because guys like Bud Selig had blood on his hands for turning away from it, and now he needs to make it, oh man, I can't believe they used to do that stuff. No Hall of Fame for you.
That's what Manfred's doing with the cheating, I feel like.
Yeah, Manfred can suck my man.
Right, and I also feel like a lot of us fans didn't care until the media and Major League Baseball said, no, this is horrible. This is a horrible thing. They built this up, and now a lot of people started caring because they consisted it as cheating. It's a little different type of cheating when every team has multiple players doing it. It's not as beneficial as what the Astros did.
I would also say, like, how can you call something cheating that didn't have a policy against it until what year was that? 2006, 2007?
Probably around then,
yeah.
It went a good 10 or 15 years without anybody saying anything, but it was pretty obvious that guys were on something because everyone went from, like, really fit to really jacked in, like, a 2 or 3 year span.
So in 2006, 2007, they released these set of rules. If you're caught doing something, we're going to be testing you. If you're caught, you're suspended this many games, blah, blah, blah. For the years leading up to that, if that's not a part of it, if you're not punished for doing it, how can it then translate to you don't get into the Hall of Fame? I don't know.
Right, and then it turned into a witch hunt against the biggest steroid users at the time in 2006, which was A-Rod.
Yeah, he got the brunt of it. Yep.
By the way,
those guys.
If you haven't yet on Netflix seen the documentary about the biogenesis scandal, I believe it was called Screwball. I could be wrong about that. Whatever it's called, it's fantastic. And yeah, it's called Screwball.
Yeah, I have not seen that.
It was on Netflix when I watched it months ago. Okay. I'm not sure if it still is, but you got to find a way to watch it because, like, they actually get Tony Bosch on it. Like, he's a big part of talking about it.
Okay.
Like, they talk about the entire thing and, like, the hearings between A-Rod and MLB and, like, the scorched earth. Like, it is beautiful. The entire thing, you're sitting there going, oh, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened to Roger Clemens, for example. For about a decade, him and McNamee kept bragging about how good their training routine was, and we kept seeing, oh, look, this is why he's staying healthy for so long, this and this and this, and then it comes out this, and it seems like a huge witch hunt on a lot of these guys when it probably wasn't necessary to get that heated about it.
Yeah, I mean, the media had no problem writing about it when everything was going well. And if those guys want to tell me they had no idea, I call bullshit. Like,
everyone knew.
Yeah, I mean, you're standing in front of the freaking guy's locker every night. You've seen what was in there before that one time McGwire got caught with, like, Andro. And it's like, you know what? The stuff's for sale down the street. They're selling it to kids who are 14 years old. Give the guy a break.
Jose Canseco just looks like a steroid user, though. Like, him and Palmeiro, they look like come on.
Yeah, but Palmeiro never used steroids, period.
Yeah, well. All right, I'll let you guys finish. That was grinding my gears for the last 3 weeks.
No, that was
that documentary.
That was a good change of pace. Okay, so spitting is not allowed. Speaking of things that players are not going to be able to stop doing, pitchers can't lick their hands anymore, and they have to instead carry a wet rag, which I don't know if you knew this. Rags get dry. So unless A, they're going to have a way to wet the rag again, which they probably will, but B, if a pitcher's out there for, like, a long inning and he's grinding and he's thrown 25 pitches and 2 runs are in, like, you think that wet rag in his back pocket is still going to be the same level of moisture that he needs?
As a pitcher, I wouldn't want a wet thing on my ass. That would be so uncomfortable for me. Fuck that.
Yeah, your days of having wet things on your ass are firmly in your past. So let's see, what else?
Thank you, CJ.
Clubs also have to provide expanded dugout space and bullpen space. Players have to practice social distancing. Duh, this is obvious. But here are a few things. When the ball's out of play, fielders have to retreat several steps away from the base runner. So that's going to be funny to watch. So if the ball is hit foul or something, or I don't know, something along those lines, the fielder that now needs to kind of be near the base runner has to go,
God, dude.
oh shit, and get the fuck away from there.
Do you have any idea how exhausting that's going to be? I mean, as a player, we've all played sports, but positioning is one of the most important things. Now you have to think about a secondary positioning tactic, which is going to be a pain in the ass.
Speaking of which, the catcher, in order to relay signs, has to step onto the infield grass in order to do it. So it's not just you stand up, you relay signs because you're right next to the batter. So you got to be like, oh, hold on, and then walk onto the grass and
God
like,
damn it,
do all your signs.
And they want to speed up the game?
Yeah, and make people less tired.
So dumb. Okay, let's talk movies real quick.
Hold on, shut up. We're not done yet. Let me just go to the good ones. Let me see if there's anything.
Okay,
else.
do it.
Transactions. So, 60-player pool. So it's actually I don't know if it's going to be still a 40-man roster, but there's only 60 players you can have on it. It's sounding like it's more like a 60-man roster.
Yeah.
The expanded roster is 60 players. I thought it was 50. Let's see if I can find the maximum active roster limit shall be reduced from 30 to 28 on the 15th day of the regular season. So they're going to start off with 30, then after 15 days, it drops to 28. Interesting. Not really sure I get why. Then on the 29th day, it drops to 26. No limits on number of pitchers on the active roster. So they were going to go with, 13, I think was the most we were able to have. That's not a thing anymore. In the event that a doubleheader takes place while the active roster limit is 26, both clubs may use an additional player, so that's still the same. August 31st will actually be the trade deadline. So
August 31st. Okay, that's a little better.
They do get 2 months. They get 2 months. September 15th will be the 2020 postseason eligibility deadline. So if a player joins the team on September 16th, they cannot be on the postseason roster.
It's going to be a weird trade deadline because there's going to be probably not that much movement. All these players are going to have to then switch leagues, and they want to do as little movement as possible, right?
You would imagine, but I don't know. I like to think that MLB has reasons for this. Now, what I'm not seeing on this list is anything about an all-star game.
There will not be an all-star game.
Ball salad. That's sad.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
They were talking about having the all-star game be the first game of the season and using all-stars from last year possibly and having a fan vote to fill in the rest. I don't think that's happening. I haven't heard anything since, and that was suggested in May.
Yeah. Oh well, lame.
Yeah, very lame.
Let's do our thing. Why don't you introduce everyone to what we're doing here?
Yeah. First though, before we get into the list, if you're on Netflix, one really good movie that just came out. It's Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams. It's called Eurovision.
Oh, yes, I've heard about this. Is it actually funny?
Fire Saga.
Is it actually funny?
It has its moments of funny. It's more. It has heart. It has really good heart. It's just a very good movie that feeds into what our question is today about emotionally invested characters. You're going to love both characters in this movie. I mean, it's really – and it's a little different than what you think of Will Ferrell because normally he's goofy and obnoxious, and here he was less goofy.
Okay, so it's more like when he was in Stranger Than Fiction.
Less depressing.
Okay, I would hope so.
That was a fantastic movie, though.
It is really good, and it showed Will Ferrell's non-comedic chops. So I
actually think he's an underrated actor.
I always appreciate it when comedians. I know on Amazon Prime Sacha Baron Cohen has an action TV show. He plays like a spy or something.
Yeah.
So that's always, I always think that's kind of cool. My list that we're gonna do has an example of that. But why don't you tell everyone what our list is?
This is the top 10 movies where you were emotionally invested in either the storyline or the characters throughout the movie.
Cool. You want to go first, or am I going first?
I'll go first.
All right, go for it.
This is a foreign movie, Spanish movie, instructions not included.
Okay.
It's with Eugenio Derbez. I pronounced his first name incorrectly, of course. But basically, he's a single father with a little girl. And the whole movie, I don't want to ruin it, but I'm going to ruin it. So spoiler alert. The whole movie, you basically see them going to the doctor and you know they have cancer. And at the end of the movie, the little girl dies instead of him. So it's about dealing with the parental side of it, where he was basically trying to tell her that she wasn't sick. And then she dies. And it was a bit much.
Well, now I can't fucking watch it.
Yep. No, you can't. I don't want you to watch it. You're going to cry the whole time. It was awful. I'm saving you.
I've only ever cried in a movie once, and it's on this list. So,
like 3 or 4 times for me. Number 9, Rudy. I hate that movie.
Shit movie.
Yeah, no, it's a shit movie.
Okay, I'm doing the rant again. I don't give a shit. Listen to me.
No, it's a terrible movie.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Rudy did not belong in that game. This is Notre Dame football. This is not UNICEF. You don't just get to come into a game just because you're a midget that can't play football. Kiss ass. Get the fuck out of here. By the way, the real Rudy Rudiger, and I mentioned this last time I went on this rant, if you look at that picture, he's clearly offsides. So fuck him. As you were saying.
Yeah, I don't really like that movie, but everyone seems to get really emotional with that. So I just thought I'd put it on the list.
I get emotionally pissed.
Number 8. I went with The Blind Side.
Oh, okay.
But then I crossed it off and went with Glory.
Oh, Glory's good.
Yeah. Glory was pretty.
I didn't think about movie. I'm going to have a lot on here that I'm probably going to regret leaving off, but whatever.
I mean, there's so many movies where it just number 7, Holes.
Okay, I saw that a long time ago.
For me, I read the book, and I was emotionally invested in the book. So for me, it's more the book than the movie. Yeah. But the movie is pretty accurate to exactly how I imagined the book. So that's why I like it.
Back before Shia LaBeouf sucked.
Yeah, he's a – ugh.
Yeah.
Number 6, Avengers Endgame.
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah, you have to. It was what, like 25 movies?
Yeah, it's literally the past, 15 years of our life.
Yeah.
Number 5, A Time to Kill.
Okay.
You've seen that one?
I have not, no.
That's the one where Matthew McConaughey is a rookie lawyer and Kevin Spacey.
I've heard of the movie. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson's black daughter is 12 and she gets raped, so he kills the 2 guys that raped her in court, and then he has to go to court, and it's about that. But it's really powerful.
Got it. Okay.
Number 4, Braveheart.
Oh yeah. That's another one. I didn't have that one, but I
when they slit her throat, dude, the whole rest of the movie is built on that emotion.
Yep.
Number 3, Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, I love that movie. That's great.
The first hour of the movie is the most intense thing you will ever see.
Yeah, he's just shitting on everyone for the first hour, and yeah.
The bathroom scene. I don't want to ruin that movie, but anyway. Number 2, Shawshank Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
And number 1, another prison movie, The Green Mile.
Oh yeah.
I watched it last week, and I had to pause it multiple times because it was too much. Like the scene where Percy, the asshole guard who just hated everyone, decides not to wet the sponge for an electric chair, and the guy just lights up in fire for about 10 minutes was horrifying.
It's a gut-wrenching movie. That's for sure. That is for sure. I saw that one a long time ago, and I haven't seen it since, and I really should. I really should see it again because
when I first watched it, it was on VHS, 2 VHS tapes because it's a long movie. And this was the first time I watched it as an adult. So I've seen it twice, and it really, both times are incredible. I think now, though, I can analyze it a little better than I was as a child.
that's I gotta say that's a solid list. There's some movies I haven't seen, but definitely a solid one. I will. Okay, so here's mine. Number 10, I actually have The Blind Side.
Cool.
So really, really powerful movie. I might say it's Sandra Bullock's probably her best movie, at least in my opinion. I
mean, it won her an Oscar when it was a movie that was kind of borderline Oscar worthy.
Yeah.
And also, if you look into the story, the mother was not the main character in Michael Oher's life. It was the daughter.
Yeah. Number 9, this is where I was mentioning comedians that do non-comedy movies. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yep.
It's really almost hard to watch at times.
Yep.
Because you're like, man, these great memories that you're never going to get back. Number 8.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah, Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually has done some really good, not funny roles. I mean, yeah.
He's been in some shitty ones, like that number 23 movie.
Wasn't the best.
Yeah, no. Number 8, I have, and this isn't because I'm a wrestling fan, it's called The Wrestler, starring Mickey Rourke.
Fantastic pick, dude.
It's dude, when he pisses his daughter off, in the movie when he's gonna go again, spoilers. You probably shouldn't be listening to this if you don't want any of these movies spoiled. When he fails to go meet up with his daughter and stands her up, and she's like, "Fuck this, I'm out." Oh, dude, I came close to crying on that one. I didn't, but I came.
It's an emotional movie.
Number 7,
sure.
A Few Good Men.
I almost put that on the list. Yeah, that's a great one.
And that's another one where it's like possibly Tom Cruise's best in terms of like his actual acting. He obviously is in some great action movies, but man, he really pulls out some really good acting in that.
Yeah.
Number 6, The Lion King.
Okay.
I got The Lion King on there.
That's funny because I almost went with the animated child movie too, Lady and the Tramp.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's another one of those movies I saw a long time ago. I don't really remember much about it.
Yeah.
Number 5. This is the only movie I have ever cried during. It is a recent one. It's A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. A lot of people went into that movie expecting like a biopic kind of thing. It's not. It is not like some kind of biography of Mr. Rogers. It actually has like a story to it. It's based on a true story, but
the storyline and plot are fantastic. I mean, you really will get thrown into it, like you said, in an emotional way for sure.
He was my childhood idol. I loved him.
I think a lot of us did.
I still look back at him like, wow, I cannot believe such an amazing person lived.
Right, and everyone says with someone that, I mean, he was at saint level, and with someone that saint-like, you question how real and genuine it is. He's the most genuine person any of us have ever seen in this planet, other than maybe Robin Williams.
No, he never broke from that. There was never a single time where anyone was like, wow, that Fred Rogers, he was a real dick to me. Never happened. Number 4, I have The Green Mile at 4.
Yep.
I have Schindler's List at 3.
Oh, man, I forgot Schindler's List.
So that officially makes you a Nazi.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Number 2, I have The Shawshank Redemption at 2.
Okay. Yep.
And number one, this is more egregious that you left this one off than Schindler's List. Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting.
It's a good
When
one.
Robin Williams hugs him and keeps saying it's not your fault, I want my life to end at that moment. That is one of the saddest
Yeah.
things. But the whole
That
movie
was
is
pretty-
like you feel for this kid the whole time. Every character is sympathetic in some way, even the teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. That is true.
All right.
Well, and that's one thing about movies and writing is that these are not real people. They're characters. So the writing that goes into making them that loved by us takes a lot of effort. It's really hard to reach that level.
Yeah, it's hard to make someone real who isn't. You know?
Yeah.
All right. Joe says he has a question for us. Let's make it quick.
Let's wrap it up with this
This has
question.
been kind of a long one. I got some poops to go take. So let's see what we got.
All right. Well, thank you for that intro. So you guys were talking about Grand Slams before, and what a coincidence. Today's question is about
Nice.
Grand Slams.
Love it.
Most Grand
Denny's.
Slams all time. Most Grand Slams in a season. You guys can split it up any way.
I know both of them. So
Well, let's give.
I actually don't. I'm not good with trivia usually.
All right.
most Grand Slams all time is A-Rod.
Yes.
Most Grand Slams in a season, I'm pretty sure, is Don Mattingly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's tied with somebody. He's tied with somebody.
It was 6, right? Was it 6 in a season?
Yes.
I don't
Somebody
know.
else did that in 06. An Indian, Cleveland Indian.
06.
Jim Tomei?
No. The other guy.
Travis Hafner.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I
All
don't
right,
know
well,
any of the
See,
Yankees.
that
I
was
knew
nice and
A-Rod was
easy.
at the top of the list, but isn't Robin Ventura on that list too? Like, there's some random ones.
He's got 18. He's like maybe tied for 5th or 6th or something like
Yeah,
that.
okay, that's what I
It's
thought.
A-Rod, Lou Gehrig, Manny Ramirez, and then there's like a bunch of ties after that.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Hey, good episode, guys.
Yeah. Oh, and one last thing before I wrap it up. Stupid ass Cam Newton is over with the Patriots to play with Belichick over there.
That's going to be funny because he is such a crybaby when things are going bad. And if things don't start off well, I mean, Cam Newton looks suicidal after losses. So it'll be interesting to see like how Belichick kind of deals with that.
No, and look at the trend. He has been trending down over the past 3 years in his running game, and that was so huge for him. I mean, last year he only ran 5 times for -2 yards.
I'll say this. You know that the New England Patriots have an awesome offensive line. So we'll see. Maybe I don't know anything about the Panthers' offensive line. Maybe they sucked. Maybe he didn't have much of an opportunity to run. Maybe he was also always concussed at all times because of it. We'll see.
Yeah, I just feel like this is another Belichick move where he's going, look, I'm smarter than everyone else. I'm going to bring this guy in for 1 year when he doesn't cost anything. I'm going to get the best out of him, and then he's going to be gone next year. I mean, it's not going to hurt the Patriots in any way.
He'll be the solid 1 year holdover until they sign Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, that's likely what they're trying to do.
All right, let's end this bitch.
This is 27 Down, the perfect podcast for the perfect game. See you guys on Thursday. Do we have a guest on Thursday?
Not yet. We will.
Awesome. Goodbye, guys.
Peace.